Listen, there's something important you need to understand. I'm going to be straight with you. Stop trying to be overly nice to women now. I'm not saying don't be kind or respectful, because those are things you should always be. But what I'm pointing out is when you go too far with being nice, when you become that guy who's always trying so hard to please that he forgets to stand firm, you believe that being nice will win her over, right? You think if you just play it safe, always put her needs first and say everything she wants to hear, she'll be impressed. But that's not how it works. Women are smart and independent, and they can see through that kind of behavior. They're looking for someone who knows who he is, someone who won't give up his values just to get approval, someone who's not afraid to challenge, speak his mind, and set clear expectations. Let me tell you this, you won't earn her respect by always trying to please her. You won't get admiration by losing your own identity in the process. You won't get far by being the guy who says yes to everything. That's not strength. That's insecurity. You need to own your place, speak up, be confident, show who you are. And if she doesn't like that, then she's not the one for you. But here's the thing. If you want to be respected, if you want admiration, if you want her to truly see you for who you are, you have to stop being so nice and start being honest. Be real. Be your true self without apology, because once you do that, you stop chasing attention and start drawing in the right kind of people into your life. So stop trying to impress. Stop acting like someone you're not. Stop giving up your own values. Stand firm. Be brave. Be the man you were always meant to be, and everything else will come together. That's how you send a real message with strength. No sugarcoating, just direct truth. Listen, there's a key idea I want you to fully get, and it lies at the center of everything that really matters in life. Stop overcompensating and talking about the way many people live their lives. Always trying to win approval, always trying to fit into someone else's idea of who they should be. We think that if we do just enough, say all the right words, and constantly put other people before ourselves, we'll earn their respect, their praise, or even their love. But here's the truth. That thinking is broken, and it's time to leave it behind. The truth is, trying to overcompensate will only leave you drained, bitter, and stuck with a sense of worth that depends on what other people think instead of being built on your own strength. Because when you spend all your energy trying to be what others expect, when you twist yourself to fit a version that's not you, you end up losing the real you. You're not living for yourself anymore. You're living by a script someone else wrote, all for a compliment or a smile or a bit of recognition. But ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it really worth giving up your real identity just for a little praise when you're constantly overcompensating for someone else's approval? You're blocking yourself from growing. You're holding yourself back from becoming who you're really meant to be. And what's worse is deep down you never feel satisfied, because you know that the version people are accepting isn't even truly you. It's a version you created to meet their standards. But let me tell you something. The right people, especially women, they don't need you to change who you are in order to respect you or care for you. They don't need you to become someone who bends over backward and sacrifices your happiness for theirs. That's not appealing. That's not strong. Real strength is knowing your value and not being afraid to show it. Real strength is saying, this is who I am, and if you don't respect that, then that's your loss. That's what earns respect, not trying to please everyone. But by staying true to yourself, think about it, when you stop overcompensating, you give yourself room to breathe. You allow yourself to grow, and you attract people who truly appreciate you for the real you. You don't have to work so hard to be accepted. You naturally draw in people who align with your values, your energy, and your goals for the future. You surround yourself with people who support you, challenge you, and help you rise, not because you're trying to earn their approval, but because they see your truth and they value it. And I want to tell you something else. Trying to compensate doesn't just harm your relationships with others. It affects your relationship with yourself. Each time you ignore your own needs to make someone else happy, you're sending yourself a message that you're not good enough as you are. You're telling yourself that your voice, your wants, and your emotions aren't as important as someone else's. And that's a message you should never accept. Because if you don't believe in your own worth, if you don't take your own needs seriously, how can you expect others to do it? I'm not saying stop being thoughtful or kind or a good person. There's a big difference between being kind and trying to overcompensate. Being thoughtful means you care for others without giving up your own well-being. It means giving and also allowing yourself to receive. But Overcompensating is all one-sided. It means giving too much of yourself and expecting nothing back until you've lost who you are. And that's not healthy. That's not how strong connections are built. When you stop overcompensating, you reclaim control over your own life. You choose what matters to you. You decide where your energy goes and you protect your inner peace. This is about taking back your power. It's about learning to say no, even if it upsets someone else. It's about standing firm in your truth and not changing just to make others comfortable. And let me say this, when you start doing that, people will start noticing and they'll respect you more. Not because you've done everything for them, but because you've shown that you respect yourself enough to stay strong in your values. It's not easy to stop overcompensating. It's not easy to stop putting others before yourself, especially if you've been raised to believe that you need to be liked all the time. We've been taught that we have to change ourselves just to fit in, but that's simply not true. The truth is, you don't have to lose who you are just to win someone else's approval. The people who belong in your life will come when you stop pretending and start being your true self. They'll notice the real you, and they'll respect you more for it. And once you respect yourself enough to stop overcompensating, you'll find that life begins to open up in new and amazing ways. So let me leave you with this. Stop trying to be what others want just to make them happy. Stop putting aside your own peace just to earn approval. Be real, be honest, be your full self without apology. And once you do that, you'll start seeing the right people show up in your life, the ones who understand and value you. You'll begin to live in a way that matches your truth, and everything else will start to come together. It starts with respecting yourself. That phrase sounds simple, doesn't it? Respect yourself first. You've heard it before, but do you actually live it? When you stop and look at your actions, how often do you really put your own needs above what others expect? It's very common to believe that respect is something that must come from others, that we have to earn it from outside to feel good about ourselves. But the truth is that respect always starts with you. If you don't value your time, if you don't honor your own boundaries, if you don't treat yourself like you matter, then no one else will. And that's not something to ignore. How you treat yourself creates the standard for how others treat you. If you don't make it clear what you will and won't accept, you're giving away control and letting other people decide your value. Respect is not about forcing anyone to see your worth. It's about having a strong inner belief in your value. It's about knowing what you bring and standing firm in that confidence. It's about not letting others walk all over you or make you feel small. It's about saying no when you need to and not feeling guilty about it. When you respect yourself, you treat your time, your presence as valuable. You don't give those things away to people who don't deserve them. And you don't let anyone take from you without giving anything back. It's about knowing that saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you someone who understands their value. So think about it. Are you living like someone who respects themselves? Because if you start there, everything else starts to change for the better. How many times have you agreed to something when deep down you really wanted to say no? How often have you set aside your own happiness just to keep things calm or avoid arguments? How many moments have you gone against your beliefs just to fit in with someone else's idea of what's okay? These are all signs that you may not have fully embraced self-respect. You've allowed outside pressures to guide your actions, and because of that, you've lowered your own sense of value. It's not enough to just recognize your worth. You need to act on it. You need to live with purpose and protect that self-respect daily. Having self-respect means not settling for less than what you know you deserve. Not because you feel entitled, but because you clearly understand your value. You know you're not going to accept anything that doesn't reflect that value. When you truly respect yourself, you stop chasing after approval. You stop waiting for others to give you permission to be who you are. You don't need the world to confirm your worth because your belief in yourself already does that. And that, right there, changes everything. When you no longer depend on others to make you feel valuable, that's when you begin to attract the right kind of people into your world. The kind of people who notice the real you, the kind who honor you because you first honored yourself. That's the energy you need to carry because it's the same energy that brings respect right back to you. You stop trying to win everyone's favor and begin standing tall in your own truth. Self-respect isn't only about avoiding being treated poorly, it's about raising the standards for your own life. It's about holding yourself to a higher level. It's about never allowing yourself to settle for anything less than greatness. And if you respect yourself, you won't allow your time to be wasted by people or situations that don't align with your purpose or beliefs. You'll recognize when it's time to walk away, when to let go, and when it's time to move ahead. You'll know your time is too important to spend it on things that don't serve you. When you respect yourself, you make sure your time, energy, and effort are honored and used wisely. And here's what's powerful. When you respect yourself, the world takes notice. People feel your energy. They know when you carry yourself with pride and when you don't. They react based on that energy. If you want to be treated with honor, you have to treat yourself that way first. It's about having the courage to speak up for yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about making decisions that reflect your self-worth, even when others might not get it. You don't need others to confirm your value to know that you are already enough. Now let's talk about something else that's just as important. Real strength comes from being your true self. This is where things get real. People are naturally drawn to those who are genuine. They gravitate toward those who are completely themselves. Why? Because being real gives off confidence. It says, I know who I am, I know what I want, and I'm not afraid to go after it. That's the kind of energy that earns real respect. But let's be honest, it's not always easy to be authentic in a world that's constantly trying to shape you into someone else. Everywhere you turn, there's pressure to fit certain molds, to meet fake standards, to become someone else's definition of success. That kind of pressure can be overwhelming. It can make you doubt who you really are and question what you actually want. But the truth is, when you try to become someone you're not, you lose the magic that makes you special. You lose the strength that comes from just being you. Being authentic doesn't mean it's always smooth. It takes courage. It means being open. It means not chasing approval and standing in your truth, even when it makes you stand alone. It's about saying, this is who I am, and I'm not going to hide it. And the strength you gain from that, it can't be shaken. When you're clear about who you are, no one can throw you off balance. What others think doesn't break you because you've already accepted yourself completely. That kind of self-belief only comes through authenticity. You're not acting. You're not putting on a mask. You're not trying to live up to anyone else's image. You're just showing up as your real self. And that's incredibly powerful. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs more people who are original. And the more you live in your truth, the more you'll connect with others who value that realness. They won't just respect you, they'll admire you for being real. This is how true connections are formed. In business, love, and friendship, people are drawn to what's real because it's rare, it's honest, and it stands out. When you show your true self, it's impossible not to stand tall. So stop acting like someone else. Stop molding yourself into what others expect you to be. Start embracing every part of who you are. Because once you do that, you'll find a strength in being yourself that no one can take away. There is a deep kind of strength that only comes when you stop hiding. And yet so many people are scared of showing their real selves. They think it's too risky, too exposing, too uncertain. But here's what they don't realize. True strength doesn't come from pretending. It doesn't come from being someone you're not. It comes from honesty. When you walk into a room and own your truth, you step into your power. It no longer matters if others like it or not. You're not here to impress everyone. You're here to be your best self. And that power, that confidence, it's unshakable. The world is full of people wearing masks, trying to fit in, following trends, chasing what society says they should want. And then they wonder why they feel lost, why they feel unfulfilled. It's because they're living lives that don't belong to them. They're not being real. But when you stop pretending, when you stop trying to meet someone else's expectations, that's when life starts to feel real. That's when you begin to walk your true path. It's a feeling that starts from deep inside. You can't fake it. It's that powerful confidence that only comes from being grounded in your truth. You know who you are. You know your values. You know your potential. And when you carry that energy, people notice. It stands out. That kind of strength earns respect because people don't admire those who are always trying to be someone else. They admire the ones who are honest, even when it's not easy. They respect the ones who speak their truth and live by it. The strange thing is, the more honest you are with yourself, the more the right people will be drawn to you. You stop wasting time with those who don't get you. Instead, you start building relationships with people who truly respect and value you. And the secret isn't looking for their approval, it's giving it to yourself. When you stop depending on others to tell you that you're enough and start believing it on your own, that's when everything changes. The universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, can only give you what you're open to receive. If you fully accept who you are, if you walk in that truth without apology, you'll begin to see that life aligns with you. The right people, chances, and moments will begin to appear. You won't need to chase things that don't feel right. Instead, you'll draw in the things that match who you really are. Real strength doesn't mean being hard all the time. It doesn't mean acting like you've got it all figured out. Strength comes from being real, from letting people see your true self, even the parts that aren't perfect. That's where true power begins. It's not about hiding your flaws or pretending to be something more. It's about embracing every part of yourself, your struggles, your gifts, your journey, with no shame. It's saying, this is me, and knowing that's enough. When you let go of the need to prove anything to anyone, you stop caring about their judgments. You stop letting their opinions shape your life. And that's when you finally step into your power completely. Step into your strength. Because when you're being true to yourself, you're no longer living to please others. You're living for you. You're not here to meet someone else's expectations. You're here to fulfill your own. Now let's talk about why it matters to bring the right people into your life. If you want respect, you first have to show it to yourself. But it doesn't end there. You also need to be around people who uplift you, who challenge and support you, and who recognize your value. But here's the truth. If you're not giving yourself that respect, if you're not holding firm to your own boundaries, if you're always giving up your values just to fit in, then you're going to draw in people who don't respect you either. You'll find yourself around people who take you for granted, who treat you like you're replaceable, or who don't care about the real you. But when you begin to respect yourself, when you know your true value, and when you're firm about your beliefs and who you are, that's when you begin to attract people who match your energy. You stop letting in those who drain your spirit and start connecting with people who motivate you, who raise your standards, and who push you to grow into your best self. This idea doesn't only apply to love or friendships. It affects every part of your life. Whether it's friends, work relationships, or personal connections, the rule stays the same. You won't attract the right people unless you start with self-respect. When you build that respect from within, you'll find that the people who come into your life will see and accept you for who you truly are, not for someone you're pretending to be. You'll find yourself surrounded by people who appreciate your presence, who want to see you grow, and who stick by you in your journey. They won't ask you to be someone you're not. They won't try to force you into a shape that doesn't fit you. Instead, they'll embrace you with all your imperfections and help you become the version of yourself you were meant to be, not by changing your identity, but by encouraging your growth. It all begins with how you treat yourself, because if you don't value yourself, you'll never attract those who truly value you. You have to be the one to set the example and stick to it. Once you do that, everything else lines up. You stop wasting your time with people who don't deserve your attention, and you begin building relationships that are deep, honest, and filled with respect. And the amazing part? The more you treat yourself with care and honor, the more you naturally pull in the kind of people who do the same. That's how you shape a life that truly matters, a life that's aligned with your truth, a life that reflects your highest self. When you show yourself respect and live in your truth, you'll see how the rest of your world falls into harmony. Challenge what's expected. That idea may seem easy to say, but it's often hard to carry out. It's not simple to go against what everyone else is doing, especially when the world tells you to follow the rules, stay in line, and blend in. But real change, real development, and real success come when you choose to step outside those limits. Most people stay in their safe zones. They keep doing what they've always done because it's easy, because it's comfortable. But playing it safe doesn't lead to anything big. Playing it safe doesn't change lives or spark new ideas. If you want to do something amazing, if you want to truly make a difference, then you have to get used to questioning the usual path. You need to break out of the usual way of doing things and take a different approach. This isn't about breaking rules just to be different. It's about knowing that the usual road might not be your road. It's about realizing that doing what everyone else is doing won't take you to where you really want to go. The world is full of rules and traditions, but those were all made by people just like you. And what people create, people can change. But to be someone who changes things, you have to be okay with standing out. You have to be fine with not always being liked, with people not understanding you, with questioning what others believe is right. When you start to push back against the normal way of doing things, you might get judged, face setbacks, or fail. But that's the price of growth. If you're not being challenged, you're not reaching high enough. Growth needs discomfort, and that means you need to move away from what's easy and start paving your own way. Challenging the norm isn't just a one-time thing. It's a way of thinking. It's about not blindly accepting things just because that's how it's always been. It means questioning your own beliefs too, looking at things in new ways, and always asking, could there be a better way? If you want to live with purpose, if you want to build something real, you can't just copy what others are doing and expect big results. Regular efforts bring regular outcomes. To do something incredible, you have to do things differently. That means thinking in new ways, being open to the unknown, and letting your creativity lead. In every field and every mission, the ones who stand out are those who had the bravery to try something new, to push limits and to risk what others are scared to risk. These people don't follow what's popular. They don't chase trends. They build their own way forward. They create new paths. They decide what success means to them. And while doing things differently may bring its own struggles, it also brings freedom. Freedom you won't find in following someone else's path. When you stop trying to meet the image that your job, your society, or your family set for you, you begin to understand that you're not trapped by anyone's rules. You get to decide how to live. You get to build a life that matches your truth. When you take on this mindset, you stop chasing approval and start building confidence. You let go of fear and begin to accept failure as a lesson, not an ending. You learn that breaking away from the crowd isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. And when you do that, when you stop living under others' limits, you realize your real strength is in choosing your own direction. You see that you can shape your future in a way no one else can. You weren't born to blend in. You're here to create change, to leave a mark, to do things that once seemed impossible. You have a unique purpose, and you won't find it if you're just following others. Your success lies in being true to yourself, not in trying to be like everyone else. So break the old patterns, question what you've been told, challenge not only the outside world, but your own limits too. Step out of your comfort zone. Be ready to face the discomfort that growth demands, because in that discomfort is where you'll find your strength. And that's where your greatness begins. Don't just settle for being around good people. Focus on attracting the right people. We hear it a lot, stay close to positive people. But it's not about just being around anyone. It's about drawing in the people who are truly meant to be part of your journey. The right people aren't just those who make you feel good or who agree with everything you say. The right people are the ones who help you grow, who believe in you even when you're doubting yourself. They're the ones who call you out when you're off track and push you to rise to your highest level. Attracting those kinds of people begins with one key step: knowing what you want. It means being clear about your values, your dreams, and your purpose. When you know who you are and where you're headed, you'll naturally start meeting people who are on that same path. They'll feel drawn to your clarity and your vision. The issue is that too many people never take the time to really get to know themselves. They let their fears, doubts, or outside pressures decide for them. And because of that, they end up attracting others who are just as unclear, just as uncertain. They find themselves stuck with people who don't help them grow or push them to do better. But when you take time to reflect and find your truth, when you live from that place of knowing, you send a message to the world that you're only available for what matches your highest self. And that's when you begin attracting the right people, people who respect your journey, share your goals, and want to see you succeed. When your life aligns with your purpose, you begin to attract people who truly understand your vision and are willing to support you as you move toward it. You stop bringing in people who drain your energy, who hold you back, and who keep you stuck in an average life. Instead, you begin to welcome people who lift you up, who spark your inspiration, and who drive you to become your highest self. Bringing the right people into your life isn't only about finding those who make you feel good. It's about surrounding yourself with people who push you to grow. It's about finding people who will challenge your limits, expand your thinking, and encourage you to aim higher, work harder, and dream bigger than you ever imagined. These are the people who will call you out when you're off track, who will raise you up when you feel low, and who will celebrate every win by your side. But to bring in the right people, you first have to become the right person. You need to already be walking the path of growth and already be committed to becoming the best version of who you are meant to be. Once you're on that path, you'll naturally attract people who connect with your energy, your beliefs, and your goals. Together, you'll build a community where each person encourages the other to reach their highest level. You are only as strong as the people you choose to surround yourself with. So be sure your circle includes those who push you, encourage you, and help you grow. When you are surrounded by the right people, you build a space where everyone thrives. And that's the kind of life you should aim to create. By challenging the norm and choosing the right companions, you unlock doors you didn't even know existed. You stop being confined by what the world tells you is possible, and you start shaping your own path. With the right mindset, the right support system, and the courage to question the usual way of doing things, there's no limit to what you can reach. You must be open to discomfort. In a world that often praises ease and convenience, there's something powerful about people who choose to go beyond that. The truth is, most people do everything they can to avoid discomfort. We're taught to take the easy road and to look for quick solutions. But if you're after real success, if you want to live a meaningful life, you must become someone who embraces discomfort. Growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It doesn't come from repeating the same habits day after day while avoiding what feels hard or unfamiliar. Growth shows up when you step into discomfort, when you accept the things that challenge and scare you. It appears when you stretch beyond your current limits and surprise yourself with what you're capable of. The moment you choose to face discomfort, you also choose to grow. Discomfort shows you're making progress. It means you're moving forward and daring to become more. Whether it's emotional, physical, or mental discomfort, it's all part of the same process, becoming who you're meant to be. But don't mix up discomfort with pain. Discomfort is not about hurting yourself or staying in harmful environments. It's about choosing to face hard things, to sacrifice, and to put in effort when others won't. Whether it's waking up early to follow your dreams, facing your fears without running, or pushing through failure and setbacks, discomfort becomes your companion on the way to success. Discomfort teaches you to be tough. It forces you to reach into your inner strength and discover parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. It helps you rise to meet challenges, think creatively, and find solutions even when none seem obvious. Discomfort helps you stay strong when life gets rough. It helps you keep moving when you want to stop, and reminds you of the big picture when things feel heavy. The more you accept discomfort, the stronger and more ready you become for anything life puts in front of you. Every time you overcome discomfort, your character grows. Every time you face something tough and keep going, you gain confidence. Each step, even the hard ones, brings you closer to becoming who you are truly meant to be. This doesn't mean you have to go looking for pain or make things harder on purpose. The discomfort that helps you grow is the kind that naturally comes with doing something new or aiming higher. It comes with stepping into unknown territory, taking chances, and risking failure for the sake of greater success. You cannot grow unless you face these moments. If you want to move past what's been holding you back, you need to accept the discomfort that comes with change. That means getting past fear, shutting out doubt, and ignoring the voices that tell you it's too much. It means taking a leap even when you're not sure what comes next. Discomfort will always be there, but so will the rewards waiting on the other side. Discomfort is part of achieving great things. Once you see that, you'll begin to treat it as a guide instead of a threat. Success doesn't come in a straight line. It's not a smooth road with signs pointing the way. It's full of unexpected turns, obstacles, and moments where you might want to quit. But every hurdle is a chance to grow. Every failure teaches resilience, and every challenge helps you prove what you're truly capable of. The discomfort you face today is laying the groundwork for the success that's coming. It's helping you build the right mindset, develop the right skills, and grow the confidence you need to reach your dreams. The more often you face discomfort, the more you understand that it's not something to fear, it's something to welcome. It means you're on the path to something great. Stop running from discomfort. Start seeing it as the thing that will push you toward your full potential. Real strength doesn't show up when things are easy. It doesn't come during the smooth parts of the journey when everything is going just right. It shows up in the hard moments. The moments when quitting seems easier than continuing, when the weight of your struggles feels too heavy, but you keep going anyway. Real power is found in those moments where you decide discomfort won't stop you. When you show up for yourself, even when no one else sees it, that's when you become powerful. That's when you develop the inner strength and mental toughness that will help you reach the highest levels of your life. True power is found in facing discomfort, rising above it, and continuing the journey no matter what. You can't skip the struggle. You can't ignore the hard parts. They're all essential parts of your path. So the next time discomfort shows up, don't avoid it. Lean into it. Embrace it. It's the doorway to your future. The thing that separates you from those who never take chances, who pick comfort instead of growth, who stay stuck in place. Choose discomfort. Choose to grow. Watch as you turn into the person you've always had the potential to be. Remember, life isn't supposed to be effortless. Real success doesn't come from following the crowd. It's shaped by challenging norms, facing discomfort, and being true to who you are. Real strength is born when you step outside what feels safe and welcome the challenges that bring growth. It takes courage to walk your own path, especially when it's not the most common or easiest one. The people around you should push you to be better, to reach higher, and to aim further than you ever thought possible. And at the same time, you must give yourself the respect and approval no one else can offer. That's how you bring the right people and chances into your life. You are not here to live a life of limits or to follow what's expected. You are here to make a difference, to rise above your circumstances, and to keep going no matter what comes your way. Stop settling for comfort. Stop playing it safe. Live with purpose. Be brave. Stay hungry to grow and become everything you're meant to be. The world needs the real you, the one who's bold enough to stand out, the one who's strong enough to face challenges and question what's normal. It's time to own your power and shape the life that's waiting for you. So as you leave this moment, keep one truth close to your heart. Success isn't something handed to you. It's earned through effort, patience, and the choice to push beyond fear and limits. It's about challenging yourself, embracing discomfort, and staying honest about who you are, no matter what. Keep going. Keep reaching for excellence. Don't accept anything less than your best, because everything you want is waiting on the other side of your comfort zone. And the only thing standing in your way is the decision to take that first step. So go forward, face what's hard, and create the legacy you were born to live. Your future is yours.